Game 3, we will see this series taken to the ace game, which is something we haven't seen that frequently this tournament. In fact, Jesulin versus Paul is a grudge match. Paul 2-0'd Jesulin last time they faced each other in this tournament, which was not even last week. That was this week, I think. Right? Recently, that happened. So now it's on Paul to either continue being capable of defeating Jesulin, or it's on Jesulin to redeem himself and prove that he is capable. He's still got it and capable of beating Paul in a competitive setting. It looks like he is going to prioritize the victory over Paul this game, over utilizing non-meta play, because he just went double rear echelons into Rifleman, picked Elite Rifleman immediately, insta-locked it, and is going to go hard this game. He is not going to go easy on Paul. He's not going to give him a chance to win by not utilizing a strategy that he believes to be as effective as possible. Rifle Company U.S. forces on Simoski may be the strongest thing I can even think of. Probably even on this map, probably even stronger than Guard Motor against Ober Commando West. I don't know. We may see Jesulin struggle slightly against this early Kuba Wagon. Also, by the way, note that Jesulin threw down these ghosts to interfere with Kuba Wagon pathing here. It only does so much, though. It's still going to be able to squeeze by here and get onto the flank of this squad of riflemen and try and pin them in the base. Jesulin is now going to be very trapped right here. He didn't do nearly as well preventing Paul from making this aggressive maneuver. Should have secured earlier building control. He may probably, even upon hearing the Kuba Wagon, have wanted to send his second rear echelon troop squad straight into the central village as well, because rear echelon troops are an extremely serious threat to the Kuba Wagon, especially if you're willing to resort to this kind of play, which I certainly am, and I don't fault Jesulin for it either. And Paul also is going to do so, throwing ghosts to try and block this cutoff. Taking heavy damage right there. The Stern Pioneers, however, will be forced to retreat. Riflemen trying to engage against the Kuba Wagon, but they are struggling to break through, and Jesulin is going to already be forced to retreat in his base, and now he is faced with a situation very similar to the one Paul was in Game 1. He will be forced to try and break a containment by a Kuba Wagon and ghosted reinforced wire, which may be very difficult for him to do. And of course, Paul had the option of an M3 to break this containment. Oh, he should not let that get wiped, though. That would be an extremely expensive loss. Pulling back. People calling GG already. I don't know about that. I mean, Paul doesn't have any resources incoming. He has dedicated everything he has to this engagement. He's taken heavy manpower bleed in this engagement. Probably not really necessarily in anybody's favor yet. In fact, Jesulin has a fuel lead, holding his south fuel, while Paul is only just now getting this fuel captured. And yes, this is troublesome, but ghosts are still vulnerable to small arms fire. So once an M20 arrives, which it probably will in a somewhat reasonable amount of time, Jesulin should be able to recover control of this game. But it is going to be a low-tech game, which I think does go in Paul's favor, because it will, over the course of things, delay the Sherman. And of course it's delaying the M20 as well by at least 30 seconds to a full minute. Couple of strategic points getting connected here in the south, and this is the point at which things will get rather drastic for Jesulin. He needs to try and break this containment soon. He's kind of just sending all of his forces into... What? What? Oh, Jesulin, please! No! It's the ace game. It's only a 4-minute ace game. What an anticlimax. What a shame. Well, extremely well executed by Paul. Good base lock. He did everything right. Very textbook. Sent the Pios here. Of course, it is quite effective against U.S. forces in the early game. I know that U.S. forces is not Jesulin's preferred faction, and this just caught him a little bit too off guard, and that early aggression strategy actually worked. So well played, Paul, who will take Game 3 in 4 minutes and 24 seconds against Jesulin, and he will beat him for a second time. Great series though, especially game 1. Had a lot of good game 1s in Starcross Kings. So, GG. And Paul will dethrone Jesulin again.